They're not just overloaded, they're engineering nightmares on wheels. From buses stacked like Jenga towers, to motorcycles carrying a whole family tree. You've never seen vehicles like these before, and trust me, it only gets crazier.
Overcrowded trains in Bangladesh. An extremely overcrowded train in Bangladesh. It's important to note that while this happens, as shown in the video, it typically only occurs on 1 or 2 days each year during the Muslim holiday. For the remainder of the year, these trains operate much like any others around the world. But let's be honest, watching a regular train in transit wouldn't hold our interest, would it? So here we are, witnessing one of those incredibly packed trains in Bangladesh, making its journey while loaded to the brim. People are perched on every available surface, creating a scene that is both chaotic and captivating. It's a unique moment, and it's hard not to marvel at how such a massive number of passengers can fit into such a confined space, even if it's only for a short distance. Enjoy the ride. Overloaded truck mishap. This particular incident reportedly takes place in Afghanistan, though the specifics remain uncertain. The regulations surrounding large trucks vary greatly from place to place. In many regions, especially on the eastern side of the Atlantic, shipping agents often bend the rules to ensure their cargo reaches its destination. Meanwhile, onlookers wave their arms. Even when disaster looms just around the corner, the reckless driver chooses to continue on his path. This decision leads to a chaotic conclusion that unfolds before our eyes. As the footage reveals, with one last push on the gas pedal, the truck driver spills an enormous load, presumably just flour or building supplies, not the massive stash of cocaine one might imagine, everywhere. Friends rush in to help salvage what they can, but the chaos is palpable. The whole scene serves as a stark reminder of the risks involved in transporting cargo in such haphazard ways, highlighting the importance of adhering to safety standards. The overloaded motorcycle. Next in our series of overloaded vehicles, we find ourselves in China, where an extraordinary sight unfolds. What we see is a motorcycle, although it's nearly impossible to recognize it under the staggering load it bears. The driver is clearly visible, but they are not alone. There's also a passenger precariously balancing on the trailer that supports the cargo. This adds another layer of complexity to an already bizarre situation. The load consists of massive piles of lightweight material, likely styrofoam or similar packaging, which only adds to the absurdity of the scene. These materials are stuffed into 6 enormous net sacks, completely obscuring any view of the motorcycle underneath. This raises questions about how the vehicle is even able to function under such a heavy burden. In many areas like this, there appear to be little to no regulations concerning load limits for vehicles. Or perhaps the local drivers simply ignore any such rules. This lack of oversight challenges our understanding of safe transportation practices and raises eyebrows among viewers. The sight of this overloaded motorcycle not only defies logic, but also serves as a commentary on the resourcefulness of people in adapting to their circumstances. It pushes the boundaries of what we consider normal. What do you think about this situation? Lorry accident in India. We find ourselves on the busy streets of India, where a large truck attempts a dangerously tight turn while clearly overloaded. As you watch the footage, you can see the truck start to lean precariously to one side. In a moment of panic, the driver hesitates, trying to assess whether he can safely make the turn. It becomes evident that some kind of assistance is necessary, but instead of calling for help, he simply sits there. Perhaps waiting for the traffic to lighten while wiping the sweat from his brow. After what feels like an eternity, the truck finally tips over in a rather anticlimactic fashion. This incident serves as a reminder of the risks associated with overloading vehicles, particularly in areas where space is limited. Such scenarios highlight the need for better infrastructure and regulations to ensure the safety of drivers and pedestrians alike. The sight of this truck toppling over may be amusing to some, but it underscores the real dangers that come with neglecting proper loading practices. Overloaded passenger vessel in Bangladesh. Next, we turn our attention to a passenger vessel in Bangladesh that appears to be facing similar challenges as the train we previously discussed. Is this situation a result of the same religious holiday causing an influx of passengers, or is it indicative of poor ticket management by the ferry service? This specific vessel, the MV Sunderban 10, is meant to provide a luxurious travel experience, or so the promotional materials suggest. While the video showcases the boat's nice interior, it's puzzling to see so many people crammed into every available space. This hardly reflects the concept of luxury travel. Passengers are peeking out from every porthole and spilling across the entire deck, creating a chaotic scene. So, is this just a wild party on the water, or is there a serious issue with how tickets are being handled? Feel free to share your thoughts below, but between you and me, this situation certainly wouldn't pass any safety assessment. Overloaded ship disaster. Now, I'm not quite sure what the purpose of this video is, but it showcases yet another instance of overloading. This time involving a small boat filled with people. The video opens with a massive group of individuals piling onto a boat that clearly cannot accommodate them all. They venture out onto the water, performing a few circles without any apparent destination in mind. This chaotic scene quickly escalates, and it's not long before the overloaded boat starts to sink. As the camera pans around, it becomes evident that hundreds of people are lining the banks of the river, with several boats attempting the same reckless stunt. This begs the question, what on earth is happening here? Unfortunately, the answer remains elusive. Despite our diligent research team at Fancy Banana trying to uncover the truth, we're left in the dark. Ultimately, this video amounts to yet another 5 minutes and 42 seconds of our lives that we can never get back, filled with confusion and disbelief. Overloaded ship incident. Loading ships with cargo is a crucial aspect of maritime logistics that requires careful planning and execution. This essential operation ensures that whatever goods are being transported, be it merchandise, passengers, or even contraband, are securely and systematically stored on board. Properly secured cargo allows for safe passage to its intended destination, which is vital for any shipping operation. In the world of shipping, containers are a popular method for transporting goods by sea, and most make their journeys successfully due to appropriate securing methods. However, one striking example of loading gone wrong features a ship carrying logs, seemingly arranged by someone who might have just learned the basics of stacking. From the moment the video begins, you can predict the impending disaster, and true to internet form, it becomes a relentless loop of the same action replayed over and over. As the logs begin to tumble off the deck like a scene from a highlight reel, it's both thrilling and alarming. The sheer spectacle of the logs cascading into the water showcases not only poor loading practices, but also serves as a cautionary tale for anyone involved in maritime transport. The thrill of the moment captures the chaotic nature of shipping logistics when things don't go as planned. Truck on a mountain road. Next up, we have a truck struggling on a steep mountain road in India. This video captures the vehicle facing significant challenges as it attempts to ascend a difficult incline. The driver is clearly having a tough time, and the footage shows the truck swaying precariously with each attempt to move forward. The person filming has managed to capture the truck from various angles, raising intriguing questions about their identity and motivations. If they are indeed inside the truck, their added weight might seem like it could help balance the load. However, this scenario appears to be more about an overloaded vehicle, where any additional weight could actually worsen the situation. The incident takes place on a Ghat road, which serves as a vital access route to the mountainous regions of India. These roads are known for their challenging conditions, and they are often the only means of transportation to remote areas. This particular truck is evidently carrying an excessive load, likely timber or some other heavy cargo. As it maneuvers awkwardly up the hill, the wheels repeatedly lift off the ground, highlighting the precariousness of its journey. Watching this unfold can be incredibly frustrating, as it becomes clear that a more sensible approach would have involved reducing the load and making multiple trips instead. After all, in the heat of the moment, people often make decisions that seem logical to them. Motorcycle mayhem in Vietnam. Here we are again, witnessing yet another overloaded vehicle, this time featuring a motorcycle carrying an unbelievable amount of polystyrene materials. This curious trend has become quite prevalent in many countries. This particular footage comes from Hanoi, Vietnam, where it seems that the usual regulations regarding vehicle loading don't apply. Recorded in April 2021, the video shows an excessive amount of polystyrene being transported in a manner that raises eyebrows. Do you know why this peculiar transportation of polystyrene is happening? Have you ever seen a motorcycle loaded like this? The sight is both baffling and amusing. What could possibly be the reason behind this chosen method of transport? The truck tumbles down the hill. Another day brings yet another overloaded truck, this time carrying an even heftier load of logs. The vehicle is cruising down the road, and for some inexplicable reason, a group of men dressed in shirts is walking alongside it. Nothing unusual here, right? Suddenly, the truck careens off the side of the road and tumbles down into the thick vegetation below. While it may not be a dramatic cliff, it certainly makes for a wild sight. This event prompts the men to scramble in panic, pulling out their phones to capture the spectacle on video rather than assisting the driver. It's perplexing why moments like this are so captivating, but in areas with lax regulations, this scenario seems to be just as common as spotting someone walking their dog or witnessing less than classy public behavior. Interestingly, after wasting a few minutes of my life watching this, I found it impressive that the logs remained securely attached to the truck as it rolled down the hill. So, I suppose there's a silver lining here. The person responsible for loading the truck did manage to complete half of their job quite effectively. Truck tips over. Hauling oversized loads is a challenging endeavor that requires a significant amount of skill. There are numerous factors to consider when managing such tasks. This video illustrates how quickly things can go awry. Fortunately, the bystander who recorded the incident was positioned safely behind the trailer, so there were no injuries. Although the exact location remains unknown, it involved a semi-truck transporting a hefty steel beam to a construction site. As the truck rounded a corner, the trailer began to sway dangerously left, then momentarily veered right, ultimately crashing into a concrete guardrail. The top-heavy steel beam caused the truck to jerk violently as it tipped over. Watching the footage is concerning, especially given how severe the outcome could have been. It's a reminder of the importance of careful handling when transporting large loads. Overloaded tractor in India. A tractor is overloaded with enormous sacks of cattle feed, and it's tipping dangerously as it moves along the road. The rationale behind this decision is completely baffling, yet the driver appears completely unfazed by the extra weight in the back. In fact, he seems to power through without a care in the world. Meanwhile, pedestrians nearby watch in astonishment as the heavily laden tractor lurches forward, performing what looks like a wheelie. Yes, the weight of the cargo is lifting the front end of this heavy-duty vehicle off the ground. Despite the obvious risk, the driver continues on his path, and one can only assume he successfully delivered the load to its destination. This spectacle perfectly captures the resourcefulness and resilience found in everyday life. Timber truck trouble. Logs are undeniably heavy. It might seem like a simple fact, but it plays a crucial role when loading a massive truck. If you pack a truck with too many heavy items and attempt to drive it over soft, loose earth, you're asking for trouble. This video captures a group of individuals struggling to maneuver a heavily loaded logging truck up a muddy incline, and it's painfully clear they're making little headway. Watching their futile efforts is incredibly frustrating. My blood pressure rises with every slow, lackluster attempt they make to move forward. They keep digging their tires out and trying again, while the driver revs the engine incessantly. This method doesn't seem beneficial for the vehicle's transmission, but they persist, time and time again. It feels like they've been stuck in this endless cycle forever. Legend has it that they're still there, wrestling with the same stubborn truck to this very day, endlessly attempting to conquer that muddy slope. The overloaded vehicle. Clicking on this video transported me back to those weekend evenings spent watching thrilling pursuits. However, what I saw here was far from the excitement of those chases. Instead, it's just a man trying to navigate life while transporting an absurd quantity of items in an unsuitable vehicle. As the camera rolls, the man waves nonchalantly, as if to say there's nothing out of the ordinary here. In reality, this type of situation is commonplace in areas where people must adapt and make do with limited resources. The casual nature of his wave and the sheer amount of goods piled up serves as a reminder of the resourcefulness found in everyday life, even if it looks a bit chaotic from the outside. Overloaded delivery bikes in Shanghai. In Shanghai, it's incredibly common to see motorcycles and bicycles navigating the bustling streets. As the most populous city in China, the constant movement of people necessitates these forms of transport for both commuting and deliveries. On any given day, you can observe countless individuals expertly maneuvering their overloaded bikes through the chaos, accustomed as they are to the spectacle. It's fascinating how some viewers from privileged backgrounds, often failing to understand that what seems normal to them could be outrageous to others who live in entirely different conditions. What may appear chaotic to some is simply the reality of daily life. This disconnect highlights how easy it is to overlook the diverse experiences that shape our perspectives. A little perspective could go a long way in fostering understanding and compassion for how people navigate their own unique challenges.
If that blew your mind, imagine what's coming next. Subscribe to Wowverse, because we dig up the wildest sights the internet has to offer. Hit that like button, drop your craziest on the road story, and I'll see you in the next video.